Between the visitors, the Mount Vernon Knights, and your home team, Mamaroneck Tigers. For the Knights, go! Gary Bendy, Chris Bruce, Rondell Hamilton, Troy Cornwall, Charles Winslow, Arthur Coleman, the head coach of the Mount Vernon Knights, for the Tigers of Mamaroneck, assistant coaches Dave Smith, Jonathan Washington, Peter O'Byrne, James Byrne, Steve Boyer, and Evan Clark. The head coach of the Mamaroneck Tigers, Coach Anthony Lee.
Check the phone. Here. He's like, go, Johnny. You got it. Set him up. You got it. Let's see him.
Officials for tonight's games are Gregory Harris, Vincent Maradino, Carl Gray, Frank Parker, and Connor Sullivan.
So who has the kick on the set? Which ball are we kicking with, guys? Yo, Henry, can I get a Jack, come here. Seth, find the ball you want to kick with, please. Come over here.
Read it. You help Seth. You hold Seth.
Seth, that good?
Welcome, sports fans, to LMC Media's presentation of Mamaroneck Varsity Football. Along with Charlie McGraw, I'm Steve Anastas, coming to you live from Mamaroneck High School's Memorial Field, where the Tigers host the Knights of Mount Vernon High School. Charlie, it looks to be a very exciting matchup. Two 2-0 teams, as Mount Vernon is 2-0 for the first time in as long as I can remember, with a lot of talent on this roster.
Not only that, it's very interesting. Both teams played the exact same teams and had similar games. I mean, Mamaroneck's wins were a little more number heady in their department as they kick off and Mount Vernon fields it. But it should be a great game, Steve. 2-0 teams against the same teams.
Seth Julie with the kickoff. It was fielded around the 25 or 30.
As Mamaroneck beat the Yonkers Brave 48-0 in week 1, and then 41-8 over Yonkers Force in week 2, and they flip-flopped as the Yonkers Force lost to Mount Vernon 44-24 in week 1, and the Brave lost 30-0, all in the first half to Mount Vernon.
Yeah, they ran the clock quickly in the second half, so there wasn't much going on by way of offensive production, and Mount Vernon will take over on their own 32-yard line. It's a sweep around that right side, and Mamaroneck is there to snuff it out for a loss of about 2.
It was a little sweet pass to Conti, the co-captain, only senior of the captains, and it was a 1 yard loss. It's like Mamaroneck knew it was coming. 2nd and 11, as the quarterback will be Jair Johnson for Mount Vernon.
So forward progress puts him at the 31. And there is the senior Jaden Gary pushing the pile forward for the first down. Ball comes loose, but they rule it down by contact.
I thought he was down earlier when he started to drag the pile, that they could have ruled him down. Instead, he kept going, and he was definitely down. First down. And what a run by Gary. Jaden Gary. And now we see Gary lined up outside, like in the slot, Steve.
Gary comes in at 5'7", 165. Jair Johnson takes the shotgun snap.
Flag on the
Good
play.
pursuit there by Zachary Wender. He turns him back inside, gets a piece of jersey for his trouble, and there is a penalty flag on the play.
Say holding, as how early it came. It wasn't offsides.
That is one thing that Mount Vernon is going to have to battle despite their success, is the discipline on the field and making sure they don't jump off sides, they don't commit any holding penalties. This junior and senior class seems to be very talented. You can see it on the field just watching their game film. But they are prone to some of these penalties, and they need to make sure they limit them against a disciplined Mount Vernon roster.
They're asking Coach Vitti what he wanted to do, and they were signaling back him up, and the coach is like, the ref's like, do you accept it or decline it? So back it up, accept
Looking
it.
for a little bit of literalism there from the head referee. So now it'll be first and 20, as the penalty took place right at the line of scrimmage.
And I agree with that call. You should make it 1st and 20 instead of 2nd and 10, especially after we saw that run of 13 yards on the 2nd and 10 before. And another, just
Absolutely.
exactly what Steve said.
So on the motion, he stopped and started again. So that was a legal procedure. And that'll march them back another 5 yards. It'll make it 1st and 25 now.
That's why you accept that first penalty. So now, because back 15 in a row, and exactly what you said a minute ago. The discipline and the penalties is what's going to hurt them. And I imagine they lost a couple yards in their first couple games on penalties too.
Additionally, several of their best plays came out of scramble situations. So we'll see if they can pull it together here as they're going backwards. Screen pass goes out to Fashawn Boyd, and he is dropped. Beautiful play by the senior captain, Will Poneros.
Vitti and one of the other coaches were looking for some sort of penalty pre-snap, but they didn't get it.
The undersized middle linebacker Poneros has been a leader on this team all season long. He came up as a sophomore and contributed well in the season of 2019. And he is now following in his brother's footsteps and playing some stellar defense.
There's only a 1 yard gain there, so it's 2nd and 24.
Johnson drops back to pass. He is handled nicely by Henry Bennett for the sack as the pocket collapses around Johnson and he is unable to escape.
For Mount Vernon, these aren't the two Yonkers teams they faced. I'm sure that was able to get them a lot of yards. Drop back, think you're going to pass, and you're able to scramble for a lot of yards. But Mamaroneck is big and on the defensive line, and they're not going to let the quarterback do that.
So it's 3rd and 23. A clear passing situation in the pistol formation.
Only 3 wide.
Johnson takes the snap, drops back, he looks right, passes deep, he's got a receiver open, and it's caught.
Wow. Oh, no.
Good, no, and it hits the ground. The receiver does a great job of high pointing it. Yes, it is a completion for Ibrahim Conti.
Yeah.
And he is brought down just shy of midfield, but it is still well short of a Mount Vernon first down. So it'll be about 4th and 6 for the Knights.
Great catch by Conti. And a timeout, Mount Vernon. We'll step aside and be right back on LMC Varsity Sports.
This is your media center. live mobile production band, in-studio recording, podcasting, social media, in your schools, watching your government, with your neighbors. LMC Media, building community through media.
Mount Vernon lining up, and we will be looking at a 4th and 6, and they are going for it.
Fans, let's get behind our defense.
See what kind of formation they've got there. Again in the pistol, 2 to the right, 2 to the left. Johnson takes the shotgun snap. And the draw, and he's snuffed out quickly by the senior, Ben Dutton. Turnover on downs, and the Tigers will take over in Mount Vernon territory at the Knights' 45-yard line.
They snapped it at the 47, and Dutton had the tackle for a loss on senior night for a 2-yard loss, and that's where Mamaroneck will take over, as we'll stay here as they're just about to come right back on the field. But an interesting play call there on 4th and 7. Maybe.
Well, a draw in that situation when they've looked to pass, and several times before that, is not a shocking idea. It's just a matter of the fact that Dutton and Bennett have really controlled the middle of the line of scrimmage there, so they were ready for that one. You'll see the Mamaroneck players have an extra M on their helmet as Jason Cox hands it off to Hamilton, and he is spun to the ground after a gain of about 2 on the play, and they're going to hurry this up and go right into the no huddle, see if they can catch Mount Vernon off guard.
Vernon, not a lot of depth as they don't have a ton of players on that bench, so maybe try and get this defense winded, but they're going to wait now.
Mount Vernon is playing a lot of players, Iron Man style, going 2 ways on offense and defense. So Damari Hamilton lined up to the right of the junior Cox. Cox keeps it this time. Throw is complete to Obregon. He gets out inside the 30 and is down at about the 27-yard line. First down for the Tigers. So as I was mentioning, Charlie, the extra M with the strong underneath is for Mamaroneck strong. Those of you watching are likely aware or have been directly impacted by the devastating Hurricane Ida who came through a few weeks ago, and they stepped up and did a lot of community service and really helped out in various different ways, and this is a way to sort of acknowledge the first responders and everyone as Hamilton gets that handoff on the veer and is dropped for a loss of about 1 on that play.
Yeah, that's a good cause and a good awareness, and they put a lot of pictures on Twitter of all the work they were doing, so it was good to see. I think they, 1 week instead of practicing, they just went to do community service a couple of days, but that was some tackle by Nazir John, as he's a guy to watch on the line.
Absolutely.
And he's one of the guys that basically the whole offensive line and defensive line are playing both ways for Mount Vernon, as you said about the guys playing both ways, but yeah, and he's one of them. And he's a big boy, junior, looks about 6 foot, about 280, 290, maybe 300. So we don't have the weights, but a junior captain.
Cox drops back and he throws on the slant route. Nice completion to Evan Williams. He gets inside the 15 and another Mamaroneck first down.
Tigers.
So junior showing out here in the first quarter.
So Cox 2 for 2, but that pass about 5 to 7 yards longer than the first one, as the first one was just about a slant right across, and that one went about 8 yards. And then Williams took it about 8 yards, so 2 for 2 for Cox, and he's perfect. And would imagine they might go to Hamilton here with a run. He's really, really fast. Watch, you have to watch on the screen and pay attention closely, or you could lose him as he switches sides now. And they will.
Handoff goes to Hamilton. He goes around the right end, looking to turn the corner, and he steps out of bounds inside the 5 at about the 4-yard line. He is just short of the first down, and it looks like we'll have an official measurement.
Good eye, Steve. That was a tough one to see in the corner
No,
there.
they are not going to measure it. They indicated for one momentarily, but they're going to go forward and call it second and short. So it's second down and less than a yard inside the Mount Vernon 5-yard line. Cox rolls left on the bootleg, throws to the end zone. Diving attempt comes up just short. Intended, I believe, for Williams on that play.
Yeah, Williams. And it looked like he had Obregon open, but instead he went to Williams in the end zone. Obregon, he had him just short at the goal line. Actually, it would have been a touchdown. Instead, he went the other way, and that was incomplete.
It's often the case, Charlie, for a young quarterback to focus on a single receiver, especially down in the red zone.
Those are the two guys who he's completed his passes to, as he's 2 for 3 now. So those are, I think, will get the most reps on from his wide receivers, Obregon and Williams.
So Cox back in the shotgun with Hamilton to his left. Hands off to Hamilton, up the gut. He pushes the pile forward, fighting for the yardage, and he is in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Mamaroneck.
Hamilton on the carry.
So, with 5:06 remaining in the first quarter, Mamaroneck is first to get on the scoreboard. They lead 6-0 after the long drive on the turnover on downs. Took it about 46 yards, I believe, was the total distance of that drive. The point after attempt by Julie is good. So now it is 7-0 with 5:06 remaining. We'll step away here on LMC Media.
0.
The LMC Media production van is a fully equipped mobile production unit. This custom-built van has cutting-edge professional video and telecommunications technology, high-definition cameras, and accommodates a full production crew. Interviews and events can be easily live-streamed from remote locations to the LMC cable channels and social media. This mobile unit allows for broadcasting from anywhere in our tri-municipal community and beyond. Sporting events, graduations.
On the kickoff is Julie. End over end. Fielded and fumbled around the 20, and Mamaroneck is there. It falls forward, and it looks like, the ball pops out of bounds at the last second.
Wow.
Hamilton was close to recovering that one. He dove head first into the ball, flipped over, popped the ball free. It came inside the 10, and he almost got his hands on it.
What a crazy sequence. It hit off the Mount Vernon player straight out of the air trying to catch it, and on the 20-yard line. Then it went backwards to the 15, and then it fumbled around from the 15 all the way back, and Hamilton had it in his hands twice, and then it went through his hands out of bounds at the 5, and because Mount Vernon is the team receiving, even though Mamaroneck touched it last, the rule is it goes to Mount Vernon because it was their ball returning.
Never actually possessed by the Tigers. And the coaches will run those drills all practice long, and still it is not something you can really master. It's just, that's why the ball is oblong, and that there's a reason for it, and you just saw it. So Mount Vernon takes over at their own 5-yard line, 1st and 10 for the Knights.
On the bright
Shotgun,
side,
and the give goes around the side to, I believe, is that Terry Kyle, and he is pushed backwards. No, I'm sorry, that is Jameer Fields on the carry, and he is driven backwards after a gain of about 1, maybe 2. On the play, it'll be 2nd down and 8.
on the bright side, though, even though that was like a huge almost what if they could have held it and stuff, they got them pinned inside their, now they're on the 7, inside the 10 to start the drive, as opposed to the last drive where Mount Vernon started on about the 30, 35, and they marched to midfield.
Absolutely.
Where they got stopped. Now at least you have them there. And I think it was just that the kick by Julie was a little like funky. It had just a little spin, and it wasn't the easiest to catch. And the player Mount Vernon didn't field it right. He too high in one hand and went off his helmet.
So the shotgun snap and the keeper by Johnson, and he is dropped at the line of scrimmage. Ben Dutton again on the stop.
And a huge play here for Mount Vernon. 3rd and long. If you're stopped, you have to punt out of your end zone.
3rd and 8. Come on, Tiger fans, let's get behind our defense here.
Backed up in their own end, the Mount Vernon Knights looking to get something going here against this Mamaroneck defense. 3rd and 8 with 3.5 to go. Handoff up the middle, around the corner goes Jaden Gary, but he cannot get all the way around and only picks up about 2. That'll bring up 4th down and 5, and Mount Vernon is sure to send on their punting unit here. Oh, it looks like, well, yes, that I believe is Jaden Gary is the punter for Mount Vernon, so he will drop back deep to kick, and back to receive for Mamaroneck is the senior co-captain, 3-year varsity letterman, Miles Fleming. He'll line up around the Mount Vernon 35, and now we have a penalty flag, possibly a delay of game.
This is one you don't want, even further back into the end zone.
We'll wait for the call. So they called official timeout, and there is no flag on the play. They pick up the flag, and Mount Vernon will now commence with their punt.
Guess they never reset the clock, the play clock, which they keep down there. Oh, bad snap.
Snap is bad, and it's picked up, and he is dropped in the end zone. I believe forward progress might put it at the 1-yard line. That is what will happen, which is actually, Charlie, a fortunate outcome for Mamaroneck, as they will get the ball inside the 5, 1st and 10. 1st and goal, rather.
Yeah, first it looked like it was picked up by Mamaroneck, but it was picked up by Mount Vernon. And
I believe the up back who it hit is the one that picked it up.
Yeah, that is a break, because even though if you get the safety, you'll get the ball right back, now you get it on the 1, and you'll take that 7 points from the 1, as opposed to this 2 points and then a non-guarantee of getting the ball at your 50 or wherever you get it after the
Absolutely.
free
Now
kick.
there are no guarantees in this sport, but we have seen Mamaroneck has moved the ball with ease in the first 2 games and the first half of this game. So there's no reason to think they cannot get a yard or 2 here.
And it'll be Sandrum next to Cox and not Hamilton.
Longezo Sandrum, the senior, will be the running back here next to Cox. Shotgun snap, handoff to Sandrum. Oh, he is wrapped up quickly as there is defensive penetration on the interior line. I believe that might be John.
2nd down, 2nd and goal.
I think that was Nazir John in on the tackle there. He has now moved to interior line. It looks like they move him all over the place, alongside Eric Peterson-Tull and Jaden McCrae, the 3 juniors on the offensive and defensive line for Mount Vernon. So here it is, 2nd and goal. Cox keeps it around the corner. He cuts back and waltzes into the end zone for the touchdown. Mamaroneck goes up 13-0 with the extra point to come.
So a crazy last possession for Mount Vernon, their 2nd of the game, as they nearly fumbled the kickoff and it luckily went out of bounds. Then they nearly fumbled the botched snap that went just the distance, if there was a quarterback, that when it was going to the punter, that the out man had to get it, as Julie's extra point is good.
Extra point is good.
And now Mamaroneck makes them pay 14-0. But this is a huge drive coming up for Mount Vernon, because if you don't score or do something here, and Mamaroneck can make it 21-0, that could be lights out. A huge one coming up here for the Knights.
So we'll step away for a moment and come back here on LMC Media.
Need technical support for your next meeting or presentation? LMC Media offers full-service meeting management virtually, in real life, or a hybrid of both. Our staff can run your meeting or webinar, set up for in-person audiences to interact, or provide a professional space for you to stream. Contact us for more information at info@lmcmedia.org.
On to kick off for Mamaroneck is Seth Julie. Back deep to receive for Mount Vernon will be Jaden Gary. And that might be Andy Guest down at the other side. It looks like it's going to go to Guest. He takes it, cuts back outside the right, and gets to about the Mount Vernon 45. So he picks up the bouncing kick and races upfield near midfield, and Mount Vernon will take over there.
Huge return. He was the one, too, where it went off his arm, because that was the position where it
right
went.
On the right side. There you go.
Right, and so a huge redemption play as he returned that 20 yards after that near fumble on the last play. And a huge place where they want to start right here on their own 45. Good field position.
Not sure who number 21 is. We'll try and get that for you. He's now in the backfield along with Jair Johnson. Johnson calls for Gary to come in motion. They give the ball to 21. He is wrapped up by Bennett and Dutton. And it'll be 2nd and 7 for the Knights. On the defensive line are Bennett, Troy Conlon, Ben Dutton, and Longezo Sandram. The linebackers are Zachary Wender, Will Paneros, and Jack Ramsey. And the defensive backs are Prince Alvarado, Teddy Auker, and Brady Auker, as Gary is brought down on the far side for no gain. It's nice to see Auker and Auker out there, as Brady Auker's coming up a little gimpy there on the far side cornerback spot. This is Brady Auker, the senior, headed to Cornell to play lacrosse. His first season playing football for Mamaroneck, as the first quarter comes to an end and Mount Vernon trails our Mamaroneck Tigers 14-0. So we'll be back in just a moment here on LMC Media.
LMC Media's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important.
Mount Vernon now going left to right on your screen. I'm sorry, and Charlie McGraw will take over the play-by-play duties here for the second and third quarters.
No problem, Steve Anastas alongside Steve. I'm Charlie McGraw, as he said, and it's a big play here for Mount Vernon, 3rd and 4, a 3rd and 6, as they are on their own 48, and we'll see their second pass and the first actually, they made that great catch before, so they're second for positive yardage, and it looks like they got the first down and a good play. And that's probably what Mount Vernon should do, maybe a short, quick passes, maybe throw it in there, Steve.
And Damani Stanley does a good job of gaining positive yardage there and fighting through the tackle to get the first down.
And a good pass by Johnson, a short swing pass. And it'll be 1st and 10, 45. That the first? No, the second first down they had. They had one on their first drive to start the game as Mamaroneck won the toss and deferred.
Right, correct.
And then they were stopped on 4th down. And they're waiting here, and they hike it. And it goes to Dempsey in his first game for Mount Vernon, and they stop him for no gain. And they give him the momentum.
Loss of 1 on the play.
They've done that a couple times. It looks like he loses a couple yards. They only give him like 1 or no gain as momentum, forward progress. 2nd and 11. Mamaroneck has it covered. They watched their film. They did their homework on all the basic plays that Mount Vernon's going to run. So they got to throw at them something that they might not see coming.
It starts and ends with the line play, and the Mamaroneck's line play for the first 3 games has been fantastic on both sides of the ball.
Hence, they only gave up 8 points in their first 2 games. And a good pass, ooh, right through the hands of Gary. That would have been a gain of 25, maybe 30 yards, depending. Well, he probably would have went out of bounds right after catching it. But a great pass from Johnson, just maybe a hedge too far. But Gary, it just went right through his hands. Nah, that was perfect, actually, looking at the replay here.
So Jair Johnson has been very willing to go deep in the first couple games of the season, and they've been successful on a few of those. You saw they tried it again there, but they were unsuccessful on that attempt.
Big 3rd down play.
Passing situation here, 3rd and 11 from Mamaroneck's 46. First time they've been on this side of the field. And a long pass coming into double coverage, tight window, and no flag, clean play. As
the Walker brothers on the defense there.
Yep, 15 was Brady and 24 was Teddy.
So this is Teddy's 2nd season on varsity, and as I'd mentioned, Brady's 1st season playing football for Mamaroneck. They did a good job there converging on that play as Stanley went up for the pass, and he almost high-pointed it again like they did in the first quarter. But now Miles Fleming dropping back to receive the punt. Charlie?
Brady, a senior, as Steve mentioned, he's going to play lacrosse at Cornell in his first season on varsity. But he's a great athlete, hence the playing time right away for the football team as we have a timeout. Mamaroneck, they're first. We'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports as they want to see what the punter's doing as a different punter was back there.
LMC Media's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports alongside Stephen Estes, I'm Charlie McGraw, and how about that? They'll go for it after the timeout. They did have a punter back, someone we haven't seen, and now they'll go for it. And Mamaroneck could call another timeout if they wanted, but they just drop up.
No, why? Let them go for it.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is an opportunity.
Exactly. 4th and 11. Oh my! False start before the snap. Definitely.
Yeah. So
Full start on Mount Vernon.
Fourth
Conte
5-yard penalty.
veered towards the line rather than staying parallel to the line of scrimmage, which became the illegal procedure, which is what nullified that bad snap. They march it back 5 yards, and they'll try again. We'll see if they're going to punt it this time.
That's a break for Mount Vernon, though, because that snap, I mean, who knows if that snap would have happened, but that snap right after that was really bad. So they could have just turned it over right there, and now they'll push back into their territories. They'll be on their own 49.
As Charles Daniels comes in to punt, Charlie, I noticed that Jair Johnson was very hobbled going over to the sideline for Mount Vernon.
And he's been their bright spot, and he just will get the snap, and he'll just go down with it. Nothing he could do, even if he threw it there. Although if he was able to somehow throw it from there, right, it would have brought it back to the 40.
If he could have
He was
just
about to throw
completed
it.
a forward pass, or not completed the pass,
No,
but
incomplete. It would have went back to
completed
the
the
49.
act of a forward pass, but he would have had to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, it would have been intentional grounding and then further penalty yards for Mamaroneck.
So either way, it's 1st and 10 from the 29. Special teams have not worked out for Mount Vernon. So if he somehow got a pass back to the line of scrimmage where he faked it, who knows how far he could have thrown it. We haven't seen him throw.
It often is the final step of a recovering program and a building program, is to have your special teams sort of come together.
So the snap to Cox, and he'll throw, and it'll be, incomplete. He had it in his hands, and then the last hit by Ibrahim Conti knocks it free. But that was a nice-looking pass to Obregon by Cox, but the junior rookie. Nice flowing pass, Steve. That was a real tight spiral.
And Obregon did a great job of going up to try and get it, but enduring not only the contact, but the impact with the ground is what knocked that free, unfortunately, for Obregon.
It was a little high, but it was in the right spot, and it was catchable.
No, it wasn't high because you needed to get it over the defense.
Yeah. True. But now they'll run it, and it'll be their man Hamilton, and he'll turn the corner, and it'll be coming back, I think. The way a hold.
See a penalty?
Yeah,
there is the flag.
on the 20-yard line,
Right
in the block in the back as he turned the corner, and it wasn't even necessary because he was already gone.
An unfortunate penalty on
Watch,
Mamaroneck.
right there. Yeah.
It's the telltale sign is when the offensive player lifts their hands as if to say, I didn't do anything. And that is exactly where they throw the penalty. So this will come back from that spot. It'll still be, I don't believe they'll actually lose any yardage on the play. Maybe a foot or so.
And as you saw on your TV screen, he actually didn't score. He was tackled at the 1.5, 2 yard line, which didn't matter anyway. As Sean Kelly, our cameraman, is right in the corner. And we're a little blocked with the corner of the end zone in the press box here. Now, the first time we've seen this all night, huh? Dual guys in the backfield.
Putting Sandrum and Hamilton.
Cox, and now Sandrum is open, and he, right into the Mount Vernon player. Bad luck, because he got right out of that block to Mount Vernon's number 20, that's Andy Guest. And that's a good play by him as he made the tackle.
Great anticipation by Guest to get around the block of Sam Bone, as Bone tried to put that block on Guest, but he got around him because he saw the play developing as Sandrum came around outside the backfield.
And I assume Sam is Max's younger brother?
Yes, that is correct.
There's a slugger on the baseball team.
Also correct, yes, as is Sam.
Correct. It'll be Cox and just Hamilton. Yeah, I thought that was the right idea and everything. It was just with the block and the dual backs. I wonder if we'll see that formation again later on. He'll get it. Well, Cox, and he'll be rushed. A big rush by Mount Vernon, several men. And it's floated up, and it's caught at the 4-yard line. What a play by J.C. Cox. That looked like something out of a
Sam
video
Bone
game.
on the catch. He does a great job of recognizing his teammate, Cox, who he has been the receiver for all through their childhood, able to recognize that Cox was scrambling and was going to double back towards his side of the field, so he broke downfield and it was waiting. Basically, it became almost like a fair catch at the 5-yard line.
It'll only be a 25-yard completion because the line of scrimmage was the 30, but Cox scrambled all the way back to the 45.
A beautiful throw and catch by the Tigers.
Cox has completed all but 2 passes, I think about 6 for 8 now. And he'll hand off to Hamilton, and they got Hamilton's running down a lot better than the Yonkers teams did, but
Eric Peterson-Tull does a great job of crashing down on that play from a standing 2-point stance. He sees it and goes down the line to wrap up Hamilton.
that was a huge tackle by the big guy. And then he lifts him up, good sportsmanship. The keeper on the fake by Cox, and a nice ankle-breaking run. And he's fired up. And that's a 5-yard run. So it's the Jason Cox show with 2 TD runs, a 5-yard and a 1-yard, and all Tigers 20-0.
Just a scintillating run by Cox as he looks to break it outside. He plants his foot to go outside and then cuts it back upfield right up the middle for the touchdown.
And he left Jaden Dempsey in the dust, as Jaden Dempsey had a slight chance to get him, but he just fell the other way, and a 3 and untouched.
And Cox was sure to hand the ball to the referee this time as Julie's kick goes through. He was guilty, you'll remember, Charlie, when you were on the call, and Cox was called for the penalty for celebrating too early.
Yeah, and it was taken away. That was the only, I've never really seen that until then. That was like a crazy
Still don't think
play.
that was the right call, but
Me either. We'll be back on LMC Varsity Sports 21-0 as Seth Julie is now 3 for 3 on PATs.
LMC Media's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important.
Thank you for watching LMC Varsity Sports. We hope to continue this service of streaming our school's varsity sports matches, but we can only do this with your support. Visit lmcmedia.org/donate and make your contribution today and keep this program going.
Back alongside of Steve Anastas, I'm Charlie McGraw. We're here at Mamaroneck High School, and what started out as pretty good drives and a close game in the beginning. Now Mamaroneck's now up 21-0 with 7:46 to go in the second quarter, as their defense has been great once again, and the return for about 12, 13 yards by Sam Lewis to the 41. So we'll see what Mount Vernon can do here in what is again a must-score situation, 21-0. But like I said earlier, first game 48-0, second game 41-8. So through 2.5 games, they've only given up 8 points. And I think the touchdown to the Forest last week was late, Steve, right? Later in the game.
Lewis does a good job of catching that one at the 30 and bringing it back for 11 yards on the return. I imagine he's not too used to getting carries. But a good job for Mount Vernon to give them solid field position once again. You know, Charlie, I really thought that this was going to be a more competitive game the way that Mount Vernon had performed against Yonkers in those first 2 games. But obviously, Mamaroneck is proving to be the stronger team here today.
Yeah, and the first, they started at the 46. They started at the 31 on their first drive, and that pass is, nearly intercepted. Just a forward pass, too. Barely. And a good defense once again, as that was a big hit to Jaden Gary.
Zachary Wender on the hit there. He does a great job of closing the distance. Almost a pass interference because he almost got there before the ball.
Very close.
But instead, he just lays out Jaden Gary.
Noticeable limp, Steve, on Jair Johnson, as you said.
Yeah, so he is playing a hobbled quarterback right now for Mount Vernon, which obviously eliminates his escapability.
And he's been good for them, too. And they hand off to the new guy, Dempsey, and he'll get it about to around the line of scrimmage.
With 7.5 minutes remaining in the first half, Charlie, I think this could be the last we will see of Johnson. I'll be shocked if he is out for the second half the way that he's moving around. although I don't know how limited they are at the quarterback position. Joshua Muhammad is also listed as a quarterback on the roster.
He wears
but Johnson has taken all the snaps so far this season.
Down. Let's get a big stop here for our defense.
Yeah, even just going to the line of scrimmage and shotgun, he's limping noticeably. So 3rd and 8 from their own 43, and he'll pass, and he has a man, and it got a great play at the line. Was it Hamilton?
No, it was Conte.
Conte.
Intended for Conte.
So it went right through his arms. I think he would have been just shy of the first down.
It was tipped, though, by somebody. Oh, maybe not, but it nearly tipped. It was 20.
He was right at
20.
midfield, and the line to gain is closer to the Mamaroneck 49. Have to imagine Mount Vernon would have gone for it again, but no matter. They did not complete the pass, and Charles Daniels is now on to punt.
And they've tried to get 2 punts off, and one was short and the other was over his head, and this one a little over his head, but enough to get it off, and they nearly block it. But he gets off the punt, and they'll get a good roll of about 15, 20 yards. And they stopped at the 45 and rolled all the way to the 31, so Daniels gets about a 30, 32-yard punt. 33, and that was a productive play. Almost 3 guys almost blocked it.
Ibrahim Conte and Damari Hamilton had a little bit of a exchange there near side on the 50, as Hamilton was responsible for blocking Conte, and it looks like he sent him to the ground, and it looked like they were about to square off, and then you realize they're actually pals as they give each other a pat on the shoulder and send each other off to their respective sidelines.
And you could see Hamilton laughed it off as well. Interesting that Hamilton played. He's your star running back, and he's on special teams. I mean, like, he's not even the returner. He's blocking special teams.
He is an everyman, though. He does lots of different things.
As Cox throws another pass, a nice tight spiral once again, and Fleming catches it, and they'll get 6 yards, 2nd and 4. And you see, this is the 4th drive from Mamaroneck as they scored on the first 3. They haven't been stopped yet by Mount Vernon, which and Mount Vernon's only they gave up 24 against the Force. And this one goes up the middle, and that's a first down for the Tigers, Steve. A good run there. And what does Mount Vernon have to do here, as they're just not stopping them?
That is the Tigers' first down.
Mamaroneck has been playing fast and playing sort of ahead of Mount Vernon's pace, and so they haven't really been able to speed up and catch up to what Mamaroneck is doing. Their interior line play there, though, has been doing well.
Right, that's the kind of defense they need more of, and they're able to stop Hamilton for a loss of 1. But that's all a credit to Coach Vitti and the assistants, as they're ready for how to get Mount Vernon off the game. So it'll be 2nd and 11 from their own 40. Mount Vernon looking to stop Mamaroneck for the first time as they switch a play. Once again, as we've seen Mamaroneck do that a couple times tonight.
Yes, Fleming solo to the top.
And they blitz him. And, right through the hands, wide open. That could have been 6 for Obregon as he dropped it at the 38, and there was about no one within 6-7 yards.
Brings up the 3rd.
It's really curious when you're wearing gloves how a ball can really slip through your hands the way it just did. It could be possible that Obregon is playing with the same gloves that he practices with. I noticed that if you play with them every day, that tackification, the tackified texture that they put on those gloves can wear down a little bit, and that could be the case because that is almost like 1970s Stickum, how sticky it gets to your hands.
So it'll be a 3rd and 11. One of the first 3rd downs Mamaroneck has faced all day, and a quick pass out to Hamilton, and he gets through 2 tackles, and then a first down as he's wrestled down by the D lineman, Omari Hart, but he got by 2 players and he made something out of nothing, and a great pass and a great run by Hamilton.
Omari Hart does a great job of catching Hamilton before he gets to the outside And it really looks like he gets a very good grasp of his shoulder pads for a horse collar, but no penalty was called.
Yeah, if he got by him and then he got by Dempsey, that was 6, which would have been a 40, would have been about a 70-yard touchdown pass.
Hamilton's going to take a breather on the sideline and check with the trainer.
A little winded. And the run up the middle by Sandrum for about 5 yards. It'll be second and, give them 4, 2nd and 6. And it's good they worked some clock here. They also get the ball to start the second half.
So they rule him down at the 44, 43. Makes it 2nd and 6. And 3 receivers now to the top side with Sandrum still in.
And
Jack Ramsey in the tight end spot on the near side.
It'll be interesting to see when Mamaroneck faces their real couple test maybe next week or the week after. As that one is fumbled. No, he's down. So it'll be a loss at 2.
Obregon's knee was on the ground as the ball came loose. Good job of securing the catch that time, but the defender was right there to close the distance.
I think both knees were on the ground.
Yes.
And even though an incomplete pass would have been better as he lost 2 yards, so it's 3rd and 8 instead of 3rd and 6. No big deal. 3rd and 9. The only positive is the clock keeps running. So 3rd and 9 here is, and Hamilton's, no, he's still on the sidelines. He's a key player for you on these 3rd downs.
3:40 remaining in the half.
And counting. Cox will be rushed by the whole defensive line, and that leaves a wide open player in Evan Williams. And a huge play, and multiple players stepping up for Mamaroneck. Williams and Obregon, and just a lot of players stepping up.
Great downfield blocking on that play. Williams actually wasn't entirely sure because normally you try and cut it to the outside, but he saw so many black jerseys up the middle of the field.
So we'll go to commercial and be right back. Timeout Mount Vernon here on LMC Varsity Sports.
LMC Media's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important. Did you know you can watch LMC Media on your Apple TV in full high definition? Go to the App Store and search for ScreenWeave. Install the Cablecast ScreenWeave channel. Look for the green icon. Open the channel, scroll to LMC Media, and press OK. Your device will remember your selection in the future. From within the app, you can watch all 3 of LMC's channels live. Or check out municipal and school board meetings, varsity sports, and more on demand.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports alongside Steve Estes, I'm Charlie McGraw, as we are set for the final 3:24 of this first half. All Tigers, 21-0, and they'll have a 1st and 10 on their own 23, and it looks like
they flipped the formation here. They've got Myers on the outside, or Ramsey on the outside.
And Sandrum gets the carry on the far side, and he'll get close to the 1st down marker, be about 2 yards short. Hamilton's still on the sideline, even his helmet's off now. So if he really is a little winded or not feeling great, up 21-0, you don't want to risk he's one of their best players.
They might have just decided to tell him to take it easy here, up 21-0 with 3 minutes left.
And it'll be 2nd and 3, and they're taking their time letting the clock run. So Sandrum gets close to the end zone, but it'll be just short. So
really nice cutback by Sandrum as he brings it inside the numbers after it looks like he was thinking about bouncing it outside. And then I love the leap at the end as he gets to about the 6 and leaps the last 3 yards in the air to get the last yardage on that play.
And the senior Sandrum, he's a good backup running back behind Hamilton, number 1 and number 2, they got a good punch there. And definitely give them the ball here on senior day for a score. And they will, and he will get it in for a touchdown with his fist high in the air. And they lead 27-0. A nice run, and Sandrum definitely deserved that touchdown as he ran that far down.
Sandrum has been a very talented running back for this Tigers program for several years. And he and Hamilton, I would call them both starters, really. They get equal touches in certain regards. Sandrum has a certain versatility that Hamilton may not possess, but Hamilton definitely has the straight speed.
And that extra point is good, as Hamilton just transferred back to Mamaroneck.
Correct.
And that was a big boost to Coach Vitti's squad, as it's 28-0, and the Tigers lead 28-0 with 2:01 to go. And we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports.
Larchmont Mamaroneck, this is your media center. Live mobile production van. In-studio recording. Podcasting. Social media. In your schools. Watching your government. With your neighbors. LMC Media. Building community through media.
So back here on senior day, and 4 for 4 on extra points, and for Seth Julie as he'll kick off once again. We'll see where he can put this one.
The senior doing a good job on the extra points. He needs a little more distance on the kickoffs to be effective, and there we see it.
Right on cue. And he put it in his hands to catch it, but it wasn't a fair catch. And he gets to the 28, about a 11-yard return.
With a great tackle there, Charlie.
And that was Gary with the return. And that'll be the worst field position, albeit the time it went off the player. And that was because of the spin on the kick by Julie, the one that went off his shoulder out of bounds when they started on the 5. This one will start on the 28 in their worst field position since then. And it'll be, I think, their 5th time possessing the ball. So we'll see what Mount Vernon can do. Both teams with a lot of possessions early. As 5th drive and 4 for Mamaroneck as they're 4 for 4. But not often you have a chance at 10 total possessions in a first half of a high school football game. And you could do that if Mamaroneck can get a turnover or a quick play here.
Johnson is still out there for Mount Vernon, Charlie.
You just hope it's not future. It just doesn't hurt him in future games. He's limps as he hands it off as a fumble and picked up. Fumble on the carry. They gave it to the big man, and the big man fumbled it, and he's hurt. The fullback, and they have to bring it out as it was recovered by
Ben Dutton. Does a great job.
Dutton
taking that one right in his gut and running it back for about 10 yards. I think he took a hit to the shoulder on that play. So
it's like it was thrown to him and it came right out. Injury timeout. We'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports.
LMC Media helped me in my media journey from the very beginning.
And I was a video production intern with Larchmont Mamaroneck Community Television.
I started volunteering at LMC 10 years ago when I was just 10 years old.
I started out announcing games for the varsity sports part of LMC TV.
I started volunteering with LMC TV around middle school.
I needed a place to start so I could learn and grow not only in front of the camera but also behind the scenes.
I gained incredibly valuable hands-on experience in live video production.
But working here cemented my love for film and television production, and now it's something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
It gave me those reps, those opportunities to get some games under my belt.
There was something about working with my hands, being part of a team, and getting to meet so many different people over the course of a night that really inspired me to pursue a career in media production.
It mattered to me because I felt like I was contributing to a talented local station while also learning as much as I could about the community that I was serving.
By working on shows like The Local Live and the annual election night coverage from a young age, I was learning about and got to be involved in news going on in the community.
So that is a relief, Steve, as we are back here. Jameer Fields, it looked like at first there was going to be a bad injury, but he was able to get up on his own power, and he's a very tough kid. That did not look good at first.
He dropped very quickly to the ground, and it looked like a serious injury, but then when he got up, I'm not sure if it ends up that it's a groin or a hip, but he was able to get off the field under his own power, and that's great to see.
And that was either his first or second carry of the day, and it looked like he was about to be down, and the ball just popped out and went
Dutton.
to
so
Dutton.
busy celebrating his fumble recovery, he forgot he was on offense at right guard.
That's fun. That is funny. And great play by the Cox, as that was a bad snap. He gets it, and he rips a pass to Williams that was so quickly he couldn't get to it.
Really good job there, as the play was originally intended for Rhett Chambers.
Wow.
But he saw that the defensive back was closing on the play as they did the last time they had tried a wide receiver screen, so he went to his second option, just put a little too much mustard on that one.
And a really low snap, and a great job by Cox to see it and throw it quickly.
He was right on target, that's for sure.
He's looked great. As he fakes the handoff, he keeps it, and he throws to the end zone, and no flag, and incomplete. As the way he was bodying it, it looked like it could have been a penalty.
Of defense by Abraham Conte.
He never turned around. Sometimes that's pass interference.
Right, base guarding
but no call, and it's 3rd and 10. Good job by Mount Vernon after one of their guys gets badly. It looked like he was badly hurt. He should be.
There's a penalty actually on Mamaroneck on the play. It looks like Mount Vernon, the illegal man downfield, is the call, and they are declining the penalty. No, they are going to accept the penalty, make it 2nd down and 15.
I don't know. I would 3rd and 10 instead of 2nd and 15. It's a tough call, but probably
inside
accept
the red
it.
zone, Charlie, I'd agree with you. Well, they're not technically. They're inside the 30.
It's not like they were in field goal range, or in college in field goal range. You might take them outside of it, but nonetheless, we'll see what happens here. Looks like they're. But back in the game is Hamilton. He came back in two plays ago. And now they give it to him. And Hamilton will get back to the line of scrimmage and more. So it'll be about a 3rd and 7 on the 20 with 1:23 to go.
Solid carry by Hamilton there, as he's able to fall forward and get those last 2 yards on the play, which are crucial here.
Semi-delayed handoff. And he was next to him on his right side, and they just burst across to go to the left side for 7-8 yards. And Hamilton can do all kinds of runs that we're starting to see here. A very talented junior. And they hand off to Hamilton again, but the defense is ready for him. And they have him wrapped up, and he takes him for a ride. And he'll get tackled by Gary.
He lost maybe a yard.
Literally, he swung him around.
A couple of times, because that's how strong Hamilton is. He's churning those legs, trying to stay upright, and then he finally spun him to the ground.
28-0. They do have to snap it, I believe. We don't see the play clock, but the game clock. Coach Vitti, we saw him take a knee earlier in the season against Yonkers, is one of the best sports you'll see. So I don't know if he's 4th and 7. They'll snap it and they'll run a play, and Cox will throw towards the end zone, floats it, and it's incomplete. Dropped on the far side of the field. It was a close play and a tough one, and 8 seconds to go.
Or Chambers, but either way, it was a really nice attempt at a catch.
Great pass.
And a great pass attempt by Cox. He put it right on the money. Yeah, it is Chambers on the attempted reception, but he wasn't able to come up with it.
So Rhett Chambers with a near touchdown, and instead it'll be turnover on downs. 8 seconds to go. Mount Vernon ball on their own 22.
A slight gamble by Vitti, giving them an opportunity here to try and do something. We'll see if they go for a deep pass or if they just take a knee or what they decide to do. Just you have to remember that Johnson is not very mobile.
Because of that bum ankle. And they might just run it, and they do. And they're stopped at the line of scrimmage. And that was Gary. So that'll take us to the half where Mamaroneck leads with
tackle by Chris Gramaggio on that play.
The senior on senior day. And 14 points in the first quarter and 14 in the second. Mamaroneck in this battle of 2-0 teams lead 28-0 at the half. And we'll be back in about 10 to 12 minutes live here on LMC Media.
Presented by Radical Hope.
Today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important.
Thank you for watching LMC Varsity Sports. We hope to continue this service of streaming our school's varsity sports matches, but we can only do this with your support. Visit lmcmedia.org/donate and make your contribution today and keep this program going.
Larchmont Mamaroneck, this is your media center. Live mobile production van. In-studio recording. Podcasting. Social media. In your schools. Watching your government. With your neighbors. LMC Media. Building community through media.
LMC Media helped me in my media journey from the very beginning.
And I was a video production intern with Larchmont Mamaroneck Community Television.
I started volunteering at LMC 10 years ago when I was just 10 years old.
I started out announcing games for the varsity sports part of LMC TV.
I started volunteering with LMC TV around middle school.
I needed a place to start so I could learn and grow not only in front of the camera but also behind the scenes.
I gained incredibly valuable hands-on experience in live video production.
But working here cemented my love for film and television production, and now it's something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
It gave me those reps, those opportunities to get some games under my belt.
There was something about working with my hands, being part of a team, and getting to meet so many different people over the course of a night that really inspired me to pursue a career in media production.
It mattered to me because I felt like I was contributing to a talented local station while also learning as much as I could about the community that I was serving.
By working on shows like The Local Live and the annual election night coverage from a young age, I was learning about and got to be involved in news going on in the community.
With the knowledge and confidence that they gave me, I now feel that I am well equipped to go out into the world and pursue a career in video journalism.
I wouldn't be where I am today without LMC TV.
As an employee of WNET New York Public Media,
I'm now a graduate student at New York University's News and Documentary Journalism program.
And it's helped lead to my career of announcing games for ESPN+.
LMC and the people here changed my life.
And I don't even know where I would be with my career or my ambitions or my passions if I had not experienced that internship.
And that's why I can't imagine my life without LMC, because they truly have built a community.
The skills I learned at LMC, I forever take with me on all my media assignments. So thank you, LMC.
So I'm very, very thankful.
I think that Mamaroneck brought a sense of community to me. I really do. I think it made me want to do more for the community because I liked what I saw.
Do you need space for a meeting, conference, or presentation?
LMC Media has what you need.
Our 768 square foot studio space is ideal for many types of productions, readings, recitals, rehearsals, and workshops. The space has video recording capability, as well as daylight temperature lighting, green screen, and stage. 2 additional rooms at 208 and 156 square feet can be used for any of your needs. Auditions, meetings, classes, workshops, one-on-one instructions, and more. Both rooms feature video monitors with Chromecasting capability, making presentations a breeze.
To reserve one or more of our spaces, contact us at reserve@lmcmedia.org.
My name is Sean. I'm a regular volunteer here.
Hi, I'm Paul. I'm a volunteer. Today is my very first day. I've only been here about an hour.
LMC just provides a lot of opportunities for volunteers.
This was the first opportunity I've ever had to be like in a professional news setting.
I've learned on camera, I learned post-production, I've learned everything that I could possibly learn about the world of TV and production in general.
Everybody is extremely outgoing and very helpful. I think everyone seems to have a good time when they're making the show or behind the scenes, so it's a very friendly, like, positive environment.
Every time I would come in, it would just be a whole new experience. And just all the people were just so nice and inviting.
Everybody who works at LMC, they're just great to be around. It's a great laugh. It's, it kind of feels like a family.
The LMC Media Production Van is a fully equipped mobile production unit. This custom-built van has cutting-edge professional video and telecommunications technology, high-definition cameras, and accommodates a full production crew. Interviews and events can be easily live-streamed from remote locations to the LMC cable channels and social media. This mobile unit allows for broadcasting from anywhere in our tri-municipal community and beyond. Sporting events, graduations, concerts, festivals, parades, and more. The LMC Media Production Van is ready to go whenever you need it.
Do you have a great idea for a YouTube video or a short film, but don't know how to make it happen?
LMC Media has what you need.
Our equipment cage is stocked with professional quality cameras, tripods, lighting, sound, cabling, and more. Our 768 square foot studio features a full lighting grid, wraparound green screen, teleprompter, TriCaster, and high-definition cameras.
To reserve equipment, contact us at reserve@lmcmedia.org.
LMC Media's YouTube channel is where you can connect to your community. You can easily find your favorite videos in a playlist or keyword search. Videos are added daily relating to your community, weekly updates, talk shows.
Welcome to another community conversation. I'm Michael Witch for LMC Media.
How-tos, and municipal meetings. Stay connected through video. Check it out and subscribe.
Did you know you can watch LMC Media on your Roku in full high definition? Go to streaming channels and search for ScreenWeave. Install the Cablecast ScreenWeave channel. Look for the green icon. Open the channel, scroll to LMC Media, and press OK. Your device will remember your selection in the future. From within the app, you can watch all 3 of LMC's channels live. Or check out municipal and school board meetings, varsity sports, and more on demand.
Need technical support for your next meeting or presentation? LMC Media offers full-service meeting management virtually, in real life, or a hybrid of both. Our staff can run your meeting or webinar, set up for in-person audiences to interact, or provide a professional space for you to stream. Contact us for more information at info@lmcmedia.org.
Did you know you can watch LMC Media on your Apple TV in full high definition? Go to the App Store and search for ScreenWeave. Install the Cablecast ScreenWeave channel. Look for the green icon. Open the channel, scroll to LMC Media, and press OK. Your device will remember your selection in the future. From within the app, you can watch all 3 of LMC's channels live. Or check out municipal and school board meetings, varsity sports, and more on demand.
Thank you for watching LMC Varsity Sports. We hope to continue this service of streaming our school's varsity sports matches, but we can only do this with your support. Visit lmcmedia.org/donate and make your contribution today and keep this program going.
Larchmont Mamaroneck, this is your media center. Live mobile production van. In-studio recording. Podcasting. Social media. In your schools. Watching your government. With your neighbors. LMC Media. Building community through media.
LMC Media helped me in my media journey from the very beginning.
And I was a video production intern with Larchmont Mamaroneck Community Television.
I started volunteering at LMC 10 years ago when I was just 10 years old.
I started out announcing games for the varsity sports part of LMC TV.
I started volunteering with LMC TV around middle school.
I needed a place to start so I could learn and grow not only in front of the camera but also behind the scenes.
I gained incredibly valuable hands-on experience in live video production.
But working here cemented my love for film and television production, and now it's something that I want to do for the rest of my life.
It gave me those reps, those opportunities to get some games under my belt.
There was something about working with my hands, being part of a team, and getting to meet so many different people over the course of a night that really inspired me to pursue a career in media production.
It mattered to me because I felt like I was contributing to a talented local station while also learning as much as I could about the community that I was serving.
By working on shows like The Local Live and the annual election night coverage from a young age, I was learning about and got to be involved in news going on in the community.
With the knowledge and confidence that they gave me, I now feel that I am well equipped to go out into the world and pursue a career in video journalism.
I wouldn't be where I am today without LMC TV.
As an employee of WNET New York Public Media,
I'm now a graduate student at New York University's News and Documentary Journalism program.
And it's helped lead to my career of announcing games for ESPN+.
LMC and the people here changed my life.
And I don't even know where I would be with my career or my ambitions or my passions if I had not experienced that internship.
And that's why I can't imagine my life without LMC, because they truly have built a community.
The skills I learned at LMC, I forever take with me on all my media assignments. So thank you, LMC.
So I'm very, very thankful.
I think that Mamaroneck brought a sense of community to me. I really do. I think it made me want to do more for the community because I liked what I saw.
Do you need space for a meeting, conference, or presentation?
LMC Media has what you need.
Our 768 square foot studio space is ideal for many types of productions, readings, recitals, rehearsals, and workshops. The space has video recording capability, as well as daylight temperature lighting, green screen, and stage. 2 additional rooms at 208 and 156 square feet can be used for any of your needs. Auditions, meetings, classes, workshops, one-on-one instructions, and more. Both rooms feature video monitors with Chromecasting capability, making presentations a breeze.
To reserve one or more of our spaces, contact us at reserve@lmcmedia.org.
This is Rob. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports alongside Steven Astis. I'm Charlie McGraw. Second half set for kickoff. Mount Vernon. It'll be Charles Daniels kicking off. We saw him punt. A decent kick, but it looks offsides.
I didn't see a penalty, Charlie, but I think maybe he kicked before he was given the signal.
Yeah, they blew the whistle.
Oh, there is the flag all the way on the far side. So it must have been a legal procedure or someone crossed the line a little too early.
With our 6 o'clock start, it was nice sky. It was easier to see, and now it's like pitch black, and we just have the lights, which from our angle are a little tough to see. but they push him back 5 yards.
There are too few light towers on this field, and so there are some shadows in certain parts of the field, make it sort of hard to see.
When you have a couple neighbors and stuff, you got to worry about that.
I'm going to leave that topic alone, Charlie,
definitely.
say that there's just not enough light on this field.
But there aren't a lot of schools that have lights, so it is pretty cool that they do have lights. As it's returned by Chambers. Rhett Chambers gets through 3 tackles. What a return by Rhett Chambers. 28 yards. Picked it up at the 25 on a bounce and got to Mount Vernon's 47. And Chambers with a nice burst of speed we're used to seeing on the lacrosse field.
Spectacular determination and drive from Chambers as he pounds his feet forward and plows right through Charles Daniels, the place kicker, to get into Mount Vernon territory.
Assume maybe Cox will get 1 or 2 more drives, up 28-0.
We shall see. It's been a while since Mamaroneck has had a commanding lead in the second half like they have this season. To be able to put in the backups, not exactly familiar territory for Coach Vitti in his 12th season. Has always scheduled a very tough schedule for Mamaroneck, so they are usually playing tight games.
This is the 3rd game as we have a penalty flag against the false start against the Tigers. But this is the 3rd one that's on its way to a blowout, 48-0, 41-8.
The procedural penalty, I believe, against the wide receiver. So they'll start it up again, at the 47 now, Charlie, right?
Right. So the main thing is it takes them back behind the 50 instead of in front of the 50. As we have not seen Mamaroneck Mount Vernon's had about double-digit penalties, maybe about close to it, 9, 10 maybe. A lot of them all over. Mamaroneck's had probably less than 5, as Cox will keep it on the fake, and they grab his jersey and they get him down, as that's Dempsey with the tackle, about no gain, maybe 1 yard loss. It'll be 2nd and 16.
He does well to get back close to the line of scrimmage. He was wrapped up at around the 43.5, maybe 44 yard line. So to get those last 2 yards back and make it not quite as long a second down.
He ran a lot just to get back. Ran about 10, 15
Looked like
total
a good
yards.
developing play until that linebacker came crashing up.
As the hike, and Cox will throw. Interesting, he's 2nd and long, and he throws it, and he slings it way long, and he's got a man, and it's caught! What a play! Jason Cox! What a throw to Rhett Chambers. Flag on the play, hold your horses. It'll be 22-28, that was about a 43-yard pass, but legal block in the back.
That's really unfortunate, Charlie, because I saw that block, and I did not think it was a block in the back. That was it right there we saw on our replay. And, you got to think, he's got his hand on his shoulder. He puts his right hand on the back of his left shoulder, and that is obviously where they called it. But just an amazing job of escapability by Cox to roll outside the pocket as nothing was developing on that screen pass that they had originally designed, and Chambers was wise to go downfield as Cox had a strong enough arm to get it to him.
It's a shame it doesn't count, but nonetheless, he did it. He ran, he scrambled, he threw the pass, and it was a nice play. And it's, as Coach Carver, who's PAing next to us, says, 2nd and forever. It's about 2nd and
42.
Yeah. And they have a pass up the middle, and Hamilton.
There he goes.
At first, he was only going to get a couple, and he breaks 2 tackles, and he is off. Hamilton could.
No flags.
Go all the way. Touchdown. No flag. And no flag on the play, as Steve said, and it'll be a 80-yard pass, about an 8-yard pass, and a 72-yard run by Hamilton. Broke 3 tackles, and the Tigers lead 34-0. So they get backed up to a 2nd and 42, Steve, and amazing play by Hamilton and Cox.
Great job by Hamilton to cut it outside at the 35-yard line as he saw daylight, evaded 2 tacklers and then the 3rd tackler, and he was off to the races. What a spectacular job by Mamaroneck to execute that play flawlessly.
And now well, actually, it's his 2nd touchdown of the game, but that was actually only is good on the extra point. That's only his first TD pass of the game. He's thrown so many nice passes. The first touchdown pass as he's run for 2 for Jason Cox. So Seth Julie 5 for 5, and Mamaroneck, despite the 2nd and 42, scores on the play, and they lead 35-0 here on LMC Varsity Sports.
Of today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports alongside Stephen Astis, I'm Charlie McGraw, as it's been the Jason Cox and Damari Hamilton show, as Hamilton now has 2 TDs, an 82-yard reception from Cox, who has 2 TD runs, and Hamilton also ran for 1, and he came out for an extended period of time as they kick it out of bounds, and that'll be procedure penalty, and it'll put them on the 35, even though it went out at about the 32-yard line, so that's where Mount Vernon will start. About their average starting field position, maybe about 30, 35.
He missed his plant foot on that one, Charlie. He just didn't really have a good foot on the ball because his plant foot wasn't exactly where he wanted it to be. And that's really the result, because when your plant foot is behind the ball as it was, when you follow through, it's much like hitting on an uphill lie. You're bound to hit it left, and that's exactly what happened. So they get it at their own 35.
Yeah, it was a shank.
It was the definition of a shank. But after Julie's been perfect on all the extra points, he's allowed 1.
Right, and he didn't play the first game we did against the Force. I guess he wasn't ready or something. So, and the kickoffs besides that one have been good. They've all been in the field to play, and he even hit that one that went off the players. That run is a negative yard for 2 yards by Jaden Gary.
It looks like
Johnson's still in or no?
Johnson is out.
He should be with that limp. 35-0.
I don't know that was him. No, it was not. It is Andy Guest in at quarterback now, if we have the lineup right on the roster.
Yeah, Andy Guest, number 20, so a rare number 20 at quarterback. Guest will fake the handoff. He'll run it and he'll keep it, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd and 11.
Already down 35-0 with 9.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. This is not going to be a good second half for Mount Vernon, but without Johnson in at quarterback, you could see the miscommunication there by Guest on that play as he turned the wrong direction for the handoff and then tried to go for the naked bootleg and saw that he had to deal with Prince Alvarado.
At least
and Zach Wender.
Finally wisely took out Johnson, as you and I thought they might take him out earlier, but they played him the whole first half, even though he was limping starting at the end of the first quarter. And that pass goes to Dempsey, and Dempsey takes it all the way. He caught it on Mamaroneck's sideline in front of the bench, and he ran all the way there to get it back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 4th and 11 on their own 34. And we should see Charles Daniels to punt, but he's not out yet.
So Dempsey ran that one about 40 yards to gain about a foot.
I mean, yeah, if he could have cut it, he went the wrong way. Although, one more block or so.
That is the idea of
Right.
reversing fields there, is that if you get that one last block, then you're really lined up for success because all of the defenders have over-pursued to the other side. But no matter. It's now 4th and 11, and Fleming back to receive for the Tigers.
Especially as Daniels nearly gets punted again, and it looked like they ran into him, but no flag.
Fleming really wanted to try and pick that one up on the bounce, but obviously didn't have enough room, and it would have been unwise for him to try and touch that one.
Yeah, it would have been really risky. I don't know if as they'll take over here. We'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports.
LMC Media's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports alongside Stephen Assis, I'm Charlie McGraw, as it'll be 7:44 and the clock is running now as they're up 35-0 from Mamaroneck's own 42 as they took over after the 3-and-out. And Cox, what a catch! He lasered that pass in there, and Obregon dives for it and gets a first down, 15 yards, and a nice play by Obregon. It looks like he got that stick-em on the glove, Steve.
Definitely did something. Figured it out, whether it was concentration or an actual substance. He stuck to that ball very well. Beautiful catch by Obregon.
Yeah. Was it in the replacements where they give the wide receiver the
exactly?
yeah.
And then he can't
That's
let
hilarious.
go of anything.
Lando Brown, the actor, yeah, that's funny. I don't think he had that. And it can't come off. Penalty before the play by Mamaroneck. False start. Mamaroneck, that's their third or fourth penalty in the first 5 minutes of this half. They got to clean that up for future games.
He called that one on Sommer for moving the ball, which is a very rare call by the official.
And he's 10 yards behind him.
I guess it's just he's not going to cut Mamaroneck any slack up by 35.
But...
And, yeah, looking at the replay, he barely even moved it.
You have to touch as he hands off to Sandrum, and Sandrum will get back to the line of scrimmage. He ran someone over and an extra yard or two where he's finally tackled out of bounds. It looked like maybe a late hit out of bounds, but down 35-0, you don't get that.
The block by Conte, who went to the ground, and
someone's hurt.
Sandrum stepped over him, but it looks like there's now an injured player.
And Sandrum. We'll be right back. LMC Varsity Sports, injury timeout.
LMC Media's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important.
Do you need space for a meeting, conference, or presentation?
LMC Media has what you need.
Our 768 square foot studio space is ideal for many types of productions, readings, recitals, rehearsals, and workshops. The space has video recording capability, as well as daylight temperature lighting, green screen, and stage. 2 additional rooms at 208 and 156 square feet can be used for any of your needs. Auditions, meetings, classes, workshops, one-on-one instructions, and more. Both rooms feature video monitors with Chromecasting capability, making presentations a breeze.
To reserve
Back alongside Stephen Astis, I'm Charlie McGraw. 2nd and 9, and good to see Sandrum walk off a rare injury where it occurred on the other side's bench. So if it was their bench, he would just stay there, but instead he had to walk across, and wide open is Obregon, and he'll get a first down. And Cox and Obregon, at the very least, they have great chemistry now. I mean, they've had it for a while, but even better, they're building on it, Steve.
They've found each other several times tonight, and there on that play did a good job of breaking into the flat, seeing that ball all the way in before he turned upfield.
Yeah, and as you said, they found each other. And many times the wide receiver, he has to find the quarterback because he's got to find the ball. And he's got to play. And one or two he's dropped that he should have had, but he's also made a couple great catches. And he's gotten wide open. So it'll be first and 10 from there, from the Mount Vernon 20, and they'll hand off to Hamilton, who had to come back into the game when Sandrum got banged up. And he'll get 5 yards. Flag. Is it a little concerning about 5 penalties now in this third quarter? So, you're up 35-0, but you got a tough schedule coming up, and that's not going to fly. These are still the starters, too.
The Tigers are definitely going to have to clean up their sloppiness. They have been called for a variety of different penalties. Not sure if that's better or worse, the fact that it's several different things as opposed to one thing done repetitively.
Worse, probably. Because one thing you could probably fix. If it's several things, then you got to get your homework.
That was my thinking as well.
Yeah, and this is a game where you could win 42-0, but in practice you got to work on stuff as they'll hand it off. And it's not like it's the backups, it's the starters. He got a run here. Hamilton, he just got tripped up at the last second by Dempsey, or he would have had a 35-yard touchdown. No flag, and it'll be a 1st and goal inside. Maybe just at the 10?
I think they might actually say that it's short of the 1st down. It'll be 2nd and about 1.
Because it was 1st and 20 there after the penalty, so he got 19 yards. And literally Dempsey's fingernail tripped him up. Usually he gets through those, but he literally just touched his shoelace or something.
Credit to him for at least getting the extra 5 or 6 yards after he was contacted, keeping his feet under him so that he could try and get forward momentum to try and get that 1st down.
Which is really hard to do. He's next to him again as Hamilton next to Cox, and he'll get it again as he earned it. And they got him, the big guy, McCray, Jaden McCray.
Solid tackle from McCray there as he wrapped him up and kept him shy of the line to gain.
Excuse me, actually it might have been Murray Hart. Murray Hart's 60, McCray's 50.
Right, correct.
So yeah, it was Hart.
Hart.
I don't know if McCray, Yeah, Hart. And, wow, so that wasn't a 1st down, so it's still 3rd and inches. With this running clock, too, we've run off a lot of clock in the last 10 minutes as it started running when they scored and made it 35-0. Run off about 6 minutes. And it'll be handed off, and they got him just short.
Brought him down again. No gain, just shy of the 10-yard line. That was getting stiff here in the red zone.
That was Jaden McCray. McCray's on one side and Hart's on the other. Yeah, this is good. Let the kicker try the field goal. So what will it be?
It's a good opportunity to see what he has from this distance for a future contest where they may need him to come in the clutch.
I'm not saying they did that on purpose, but this is like a perfect chance for him and build his confidence. Could be one of his first. I don't think he was the kicker last year. Could be one of his first kicks. And the kick and the snap, and the kick is good. So that was what was that, about a 27, 28-yarder?
Just about, yeah. I believe
27.
That was a 27-yarder.
And the extra point's usually 19 yards, and that's about on the 11. So, yeah, 27-yarder.
Nice end-over-end kick from Julian. Also, he did it inside the play clock, something else he hasn't had to deal with in game situations.
And it was drilled right down the middle. So that makes it 38-0. So the Tigers lead big, and we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports. There. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports alongside Steve Anastas, Charlie McGraw, and this is the one time we'll stop the clock with the running clock between scores.
I didn't realize they would even do that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, the ref,
It should be a running clock. I'm not sure why it is stopped.
but it is. And Julie will kick it. And then that's a perfect squib kick. So he's practicing everything, the squib kicks, the high kicks, the field goals, the extra points. And it's a good return here. Once again, the same guy, Dempsey, he went across. He ran about 40 yards to gain about 10 there. Dempsey.
That was a great tackle from number 52, Michael Weston. Good job stringing him out and making sure he doesn't give him the outside upfield opportunity.
Good thing you had that extra roster, because Rob didn't have Michael Weston. I think if you're Mount Vernon, the goal here is to score a touchdown before the game ends.
They've been so effective on offense all season long, so I mean it's only the third game, but in the first two games, scoring 44 and 30 points respectively. I'm sure they would have expected more offensive production, but Mamaroneck's defense has really shown up today.
As the handoff from the backup quarterback, Andy Guest, goes to Dempsey, and he gets a yard, 1 yard, 2nd and 9. Right, and all the points against the Yonkers Brave came in the first half, too. Yeah, the 74 points, and tonight's game is going to bring that average down way.
You can say that again.
Yeah. And the points against is going to go way up. But how about that game next week at Scarsdale? That should be some game, Mamaroneck Scarsdale. As line of scrimmage, maybe a yard or back to the line of scrimmage. Forward progress on that run by Mount Vernon, and it'll be 3rd and 10.
Mamaroneck's defense has been relentless here in the second half, as it has been all game. And now you can see some players getting some additional playing time. DJ Castorella coming in the game, number 42.
Really gave him forward progress as it's 3rd and 7.
And the junior Jack Jager now in the game, linebacker.
Barring an incompletion, it'll be the last. Incompletion, they still run the clock. Oh, the snap goes off of the player right next to the quarterback, and it's recovered by Mamaroneck.
Recovery by Mamaroneck.
So about I think the 3rd turnover of the game for Mount Vernon. They had a couple that could have been more, but and it's recovered by one of your favorite player, Brady Alker.
Alker crashed in and saw that opportunity.
His first year playing
on the ball.
Football, a senior, high school.
That's correct. He decided he wanted to play some real contact sport. No, I'm kidding. As a lacrosse player, I can tell you that there's plenty of contact in lacrosse. At least there used to be. But that is definitely an exciting moment for Alker.
I think their 3rd turnover. There could have been more, but they got a little fortunate bounces as will end with the running clock will end the 3rd quarter. So it'll be 38-0. And when we get back, Steve will take us home with the play-by-play here in the 4th quarter on LMC Varsity Sports.
Coverage of today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important.
The LMC Media Production Van is a fully equipped mobile production unit. This custom-built van has cutting-edge professional video and telecommunications technology, high-definition cameras, and accommodates a full production crew. Interviews and events can be easily live-streamed from remote locations to the LMC cable channels and social media. This mobile unit allows for broadcasting from anywhere in our tri-municipal community and beyond. Sporting events, graduations, concerts, festivals, parades, and more. The LMC Media Production Van is ready to go whenever you need it.
Stephen Astis back with you as Charlie McGraw hands it over for the fourth quarter. He'll take care of the color commentary. I'm with you on the play-by-play. And we've got a new quarterback. As Romaine Young gets the carry, the handoff from Shane Romoff, the junior quarterback. And Young is dropped for a loss of a yard on the play, as Coach Vitti is happy to empty his bench and get some of his backup some key playing time. Thomas Mancini now in at the wide receiver spot. Rhett Chambers is still out there. Daniel Day now in at wide receiver along with Chambers out on the right side.
That was like a wrestling tackle by Nazir John.
Yes, he definitely picked him up and put him down.
Welcome to the game
quickly.
To Young.
There is Young again on the carry, and he is dragged down for no gain on the play.
This is the backups versus most of the starters from Mount Vernon on the D-line. But they don't really have many backups. They have about 22 guys, if it can count the whole team from here.
They're a thin crew, but they are definitely talented. This is an off game for them based on the way their season started.
Yeah. On the paper roster, it's about 28-30, but every team's going to have 4 or 5 injuries. And you can just tell.
Ronnie Aversa in on offensive line, as is Kristen Santos. Santos' older brother's playing for the program as well. His older brother Kevin now at University of Albany. And a great carry by Winder as he gets around the left side. A solid stiff arm, and he will go in for the score. Touchdown, Zachary Winder. Penalty flag looks to have flown after the play. That could be a celebration penalty. I don't think it'll wipe it off the board. We'll have to wait and see.
Never know. We'll see. But 41 yards.
Winder does a great job of breaking outside the numbers and then putting his right arm out. And
like Mike Allstott, sorry.
Right.
How to say. He did.
Stiff-arming
huge
the
guy.
defender off of shedding that tackler. I'm not sure if the penalty was on the excessive block, but we'll take a look at the call. Oh, dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on Mount Vernon. So the touchdown will count.
Kickoff?
Penalty will be assessed on the extra point, I believe. Or let's see, it might be assessed on the kickoff.
I think you have the choice, right? So if it was a close game, they'd probably do the extra point.
I
go
believe,
for 2.
Charlie, what the call was on a player who was blocking for Mamaroneck. The defender he was blocking did not enjoy how long and thoroughly he was being blocked.
So hit him after the play.
Hit him after the play or did something. Looks like they will take a knee here. Up 44-0 with 9.5 minutes remaining in the game. The clock will continue to wind down, and we'll be back in just a moment on LMC Media.
LMC Media's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important.
On to kick off for the Tigers, Seth Julie. The Tigers will extend their 6-game winning streak over Mount Vernon to 7. 7 victories in a row over the Knights in football. The penalty assessed on the kickoff allows Julie to kick it all the way inside the 5. It is a high end-over-end kick, which is fumbled and recovered by a teammate and brought out to about the 15.
Great job by Dempsey to pick it up after it was fumbled by Gary, and then he ran a little, because if he just jumped on it, they would have had it inside their own 8. So instead, he picked it up and then ran it to about the 20 after Gary fumbled it, and it was so deep because they were kicking from the 45. So
taking a look at the future schedule for Mamaroneck, they will travel to Scarsdale on October 1st, and then will play at home against R.C. Ketchum, who has been a rival of theirs in baseball for many years. After that, they travel to Clarkstown South, who is always a very talented program, before finishing the season at the juggernaut New Rochelle Huguenots.
We'll have the R.C. Ketchum game here live on LMC Media.
Now Vernon with the handoff up the middle. There's a penalty flag on the play, but the running back doing a solid job of pushing forward for the first down yardage. We'll see what the penalty call is. It is holding against Mount Vernon. We'll march that back half the distance to the goal line. It'll be 1st and 17 or 1st and 16. No, 1st and 17 as they replay first down.
So Steve said it before the game that penalties were going to be key to hurt Mount Vernon or not, and they have, as they've had about probably more than 15 now. Mamaroneck, after the 5 or 6 in the third quarter, have about 10, but they've definitely hurt Mount Vernon. I mean, it wouldn't have changed the final score, maybe a little less could have, but
One
too many
thing worth
penalties.
noting, Charlie, is that in the past 7 contests with Mount Vernon, this is the first shutout in those 7 contests.
Wow.
So as much as Mount Vernon's program may have been struggling at one point or another, whether it was because backups were in the game or what have you, this is the first time that Mamaroneck has held Mount Vernon scoreless in the past 7 games. So 1st and long, and they're going to throw from their own end zone. Oh, and a fantastic attempt as the pass is on target for Jaden Dempsey, but he isn't able to hold on to it. Great defense by Max Bone. See, I did it. Defense by Sam Bone on the play. I'm sure
it's because I mentioned
Max
him
will
before.
get a chuckle there as I've
done that several times.
Max Bone on the brain.
Different brothers. Rob will remember.
The former Mamaroneck quarterback Aaron Cox, the older brother of the current starter Jason Cox, is in attendance and was clear to point out that he feels he has the better arm of the two. But Jason has definitely had a fantastic night at quarterback for the Tigers, and his brother and his whole family are very proud of how well he and the Tigers have played here tonight. Ronnie Aversa in on the tackle there for the Tigers. Mount Vernon is quick to the line here. 6 minutes remaining in the game. It's 3rd and about 16. And Gary is able to break free momentarily, picks up about 7 on the carry, but he will be well short of the first down, and you have to imagine Mount Vernon will be punting.
Brings up a 4th down.
So we should see Charles Daniels. Even the backup defense looking stymie from Mamaroneck.
This playing time will be valuable for these players, as injuries have undermined several of the past seasons, recent seasons for Mamaroneck. So getting these players some playing time will serve the team well if anyone is to fall to injury later on. So they're going for it on 4th down. Guest drops back to pass. He has a receiver open, and it's complete. Oh, and they rip the ball free. And
13.
Jack Jaeger strips the ball free and runs it in for the score.
They got the first down, but someone stripped it, and Jaeger just picks it up and runs it for a touchdown. He did it. Wow.
He had the strip and the score.
That's rare. Not only did he strip it, it hit the ground, he picks it up untouched, 30-yard return, and it's hard to say, but that was a great catch by
Conti. Did a great job of concentrating and bringing that catch in for the first down, and as he's fighting for additional yardage, Jaeger pulls it free, and it takes a Mamaroneck bounce right into his hands, and he races in from about 30 yards out for the touchdown.
And he had gotten the first down, too. And after he got the first down, he still wanted a yard or two, and he was almost out of bounds. But right before it, Jaeger with the play, and that's a highlight reel touchdown.
So Shane Romoff will take the snap and take a knee on the extra point attempt with 4.5 minutes remaining on the ticking clock. It is now 50-0 Mamaroneck. It has been years since Mamaroneck has had a victory like this, so soak it in, folks. We'll be back in just a minute on LMC Varsity Sports.
LMC Media's live coverage of today's game is brought to you by M&T Bank. We understand what's important.
Need technical support for your next meeting or presentation? LMC Media offers full-service meeting management virtually, in real life, or a hybrid of both. Our staff can run your meeting or webinar, set up for in-person audiences to interact, or provide a professional space for you to stream. Contact us for more information at info@lmcmedia.org.
The Mamaroneck Tigers have really done an amazing job here in scoring 50 points and not allowing a single score by Mount Vernon. A solid end-over-end kick. They try a little razzle-dazzle on the handoff from Dempsey to Gary.
And Steve now, Mamaroneck with the 50 points tonight and the 48 and 41 in the other games are outscoring their opponents 139-8. I had to do the math and add it up because it's so many points.
Right. Well, their offense has been clicking on all cylinders so far in the first 3 games, and their defense has shown up as well. Timeout taken by Mount Vernon with 3 minutes and 18 seconds. We'll be back in just a moment on LMC Media.
The LMC Media production van is a fully equipped mobile production unit. This custom-built van has cutting-edge professional video and telecommunications technology, high-definition cameras, and accommodates a full production crew. Interviews and events can be easily live-streamed from remote locations to the LMC cable channels and social media. This mobile unit allows for broadcasting from anywhere in our tri-municipal community and beyond. Sporting events, graduations, concerts, festivals, parades, and more. The LMC Media production van is ready to go whenever you need it.
Mount Vernon takes the snap. Guest looks one way, looks the other. He tries to tuck it and run, and he is dropped for a loss. Sack on the play goes to, I believe that was Luca
Santos, right?
It was
Santos or
Aversa.
Aversa? It was Kristen Santos or Ronnie Aversa. But did you see how his body like flailed back?
Yeah.
That was crazy. It was, oh, there it is.
Yes,
it's
once
64.
again on the shotgun, that was a Versa.
Yeah.
Dempsey gets it.
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm surprised that wasn't a late hit.
Chris Gramaggio, he more fell on top of
Yeah.
him than tried to hit him, but Dempsey went to the ground after a pickup of a couple. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Gramaggio and Luca Giobio.
Clock approaching 2 minutes to go in the game. Guest communicating with his receivers in the pistol formation. Gets the shotgun snap, drops back, pass complete. Jameer Fields is brought down for a loss, and it'll be 4th down and about 8.
Good to see Fields back on the field. He's the one that got.
He was the one that went down early in the second.
We thought it was a bad injury.
I think that was the second quarter.
Yeah.
So it is good to see him back on the field.
No pun intended.
Yes.
Fields on the field.
90 seconds remaining in the game on
I
4th down.
Assume they're going
Mount
for
Vernon looks to be going for it, as
Coach will just take a
Mamaroneck
knee.
will most certainly take a knee and finish out the clock in victory formation if Mount Vernon is unable to convert.
Another good win for Mamaroneck. Just tidy up the late penalties and they'll be good.
Conti goes in motion. Pass intercepted.
What a
great leaping catch.
11?
Daniel
11.
Day on the pick. Does a beautiful job of high pointing that one.
Wrestled it away.
Just in front of the intended receiver. He is down at his own 42 with 37 seconds left. The backups will enjoy their first victory formation snap of their careers, as it looks like several of the starters are out there as well.
Nothing sweeter than taking a knee, because that means you won the game.
Absolutely. Just a beautiful performance by the entire roster here at Memorial Field.
So many guys contributed. And now the hard part of their, much harder part of the schedule will come up next week against rival Scarsdale at Scarsdale.
That's the end of the ball game.
As it'll be, we'll see how good Mamaroneck really is, as they're 3-0. But they did a great job tonight in this game against a Mount Vernon team that started 2-0, and they just dominated them. 50-0.
So for Charlie McGraw and our sports producer, Rob Moretti, this is Steve Anastas thanking you for watching LMC Varsity Sports.